Hello everybody and welcome to the first session of Reducing the Rage. My name is Piera and I'm a therapeutic enabler at Recovery College, and I've been teaching this course for about 2 months until unfortunately obviously we had to temporarily close. Now, uh, this is the first time I make an online video like this, so please bear with me if I make any mistakes or if I freeze. I do have my script here, so if you see me looking down, it means I'm reading. And I will try and make this video in one take because I'm really bad at editing. So again, if I do make mistakes, I'll just, say sorry and continue. I'll be using flip chart as well, so I'll move the flip charts up and down, so I will have to kind of do that as well. All right? So this session will last approximately about an hour. I'm not sure just yet since it's the first one. So 45 minutes to an hour, sort of. And I'll try and keep it pretty much the same as when we do a normal session at college. The only thing obviously is that I'm by myself and there's nobody here with me, but we can still keep interactivity. If you want, you can use the comment box below and add your comments, your question, anything at all that you would like to say to me, and I will reply either in the comments or in the future videos. There's gonna be another 4 videos, so 5 sessions in total. I have water as well, so I will be drinking every now and then. So, usually the first thing we do when we start a session at college is asking how people are feeling that day and why they're taking this course and what they would like to learn. Now, obviously, there's nobody here, so I will answer that question instead. And I am good today. I'm about 1 to 10. I'm about maybe a 6 or 7. I feel a little bit nervous about doing this video and definitely excited though. So the thing is, if I do get excited, I do start to speak really fast. So please let me know in the comments if I do speak too fast, and then I'll make sure I'll try and slow down a little bit next time. And well, I did take this course myself end of last year it was, and I found it really so interesting, really eye-opening, and really makes you think. It can be a little bit challenging at times, but I think sometimes you do have to challenge yourself a little bit in order to grow. So I really enjoyed it, and then I got to teach it, so happy days. That's it. Yeah, you can write in the comments below if you wish why you are watching these videos and what would you like to learn and get out of it, really. Now, the next thing we do usually, with my lovely flip chart here, don't worry too much if you can't read it. I spent so much time trying to put the camera properly so that everybody can read that, but I will go through it anyway. So the first thing we do usually is put down some ground rules. Now, these are a little bit different, obviously, from the normal rules that we put in a class, but a few are kind of the same. First one would be swearing. Now, I'll try not to swear, but it can come up every now and then, so I will put swearing in context. So I won't swear at myself in this case, I won't swear at you guys or at the internet. And yeah, if a swear word comes out of my mouth, should be all right. If you guys are not okay with this, if you don't like swearing at all, please put it in the comments and I will make sure I won't swear anymore in the next videos. Now, the second one will be about the interactivity side of this. So if you do have any questions, please feel free, go for it. No questions is too daft to ask. As well, please be mindful of oversharing in the comments. Sometimes we can kind of get carried away, and sometimes we say things that we kind of regret afterwards, so please be careful about that. And the last one would be confidentiality or lack of confidentiality. Obviously, when we are in a class, the usual is what we say in the class stays then in the class. But being obviously the internet, this is not possible. So please be careful what you write in the comments. I will be careful myself when I do use examples. I'll try and use examples that are not related to me personally, more broad. And then the last one, it's time out at any time. That's the beauty of being an online video. At any time, you don't want to listen to me anymore, you're fed up with what I'm saying, it's getting a little bit too much, please feel free. Pause the video, go make a cup of tea, have a bath, anything, listen to some music, whatever, and you can come back at any time that you want. And then the last rule, or it's a quote more than anything, it's not everyone is to your schedule. And that's kind of doesn't, it's not just for this course, it's for life in general. Just be aware of this. And yeah, everybody has their own kind of stories or own experiences. They're in their own path of recovery or discovery. And please try not to compare yourself to others. Now, I'm gonna have a sip of water. Sorry. Thank you. If you do feel that we should add some more rules to this, please just let me know in the comments and I will add them on. Now, before I move on, I just want to give you a quick, I'm going to remove this actually. Let's take this off so I don't look at it. And I'll put the new one on in just a second. Sorry to give the back. So, before we move on, I'm just going to give you an overview of the course. So what is course going to be about? So obviously it's called Reducing the Rage. But this is not an anger management course. And it's more about helping you understand what anger is and where does that come from and how kind of deal with it. So we'll teach you a few new skills that hopefully will help you deal with your anger a little bit better. This will also complement your DBT and your RAP skills. Now, what is DBT and RAP? So these are two courses. They're part of like the core courses of Recovery College. And if you haven't taken them yet, don't worry. It's fine. You can follow my course right now without knowing. But maybe research a little bit online what's DBT and what's RAP. And there are two very practical kind of workshops that gives you, once again, skills and way of coping in stressful times, in relationships, etc., in crisis, etc., etc. So if you have taken these courses, happy days. If you haven't, no worries at all. But you might consider taking them then in the future. Now, this course really, as I mentioned before a little bit, kind of make you think, and it will challenge a little bit the way you cope in certain situations. All right, and there is some topics that are a little bit harder than others. So on session 3 we will, for example, that will be about trauma and early life experiences, attachment theory. So that week will be a little bit challenging, you know. And once again, we do recommend that you guys prepare for that. So make sure, for example, the day you want to see the session 3 video, make sure that, I don't know, you have some wellness tools. So wellness tool is something that you do for yourself in order to feel better. It makes you feel good. So make sure you know that after the session, you're going to go and have a bath. After the session, you're going to watch your favorite TV show. You're going to eat your favorite food, or things like that. Yeah. But don't worry, I will make it as easy as possible. All right. But obviously, some topics will be a little bit hard. And the last thing is that there is going to be a little bit of homework. So I will give you some exercise at the end of each session to do in your own time. If you want to do them, perfect. If you don't want to do them, happy days. Not a problem at all. This is just for you to start to implement and understand better a few of the things that we're going to go through during this course. Yeah. Obviously, if you do the homework, you can then obviously share it if you want in the comments below for me to have a look at. All right, I'll have a little bit more water. Okie dokie. Well, I'm gonna put my new flip chart on. Oh, it's a very beautiful empty flip chart. Great. Right, let's have a look. Oopsie. See, when I say mistakes. Yeah, it's on. Okay, then. Now, what is anger? That's the first thing we're gonna go through, guys. It's exactly what it is. What is anger? Now, usually at college, obviously, I will ask you, and I will get so many different answers. I'm just gonna put up a few that usually come out. So people will say anger is like feeling like Hulk, for example. Anger is rage, frustration, or sadness, for example. Or people will go and tell me what's happening. Oh, I'm still there, sorry. It went all black. So I was saying sadness or even violence, for example. So anything really that comes to your mind is actually correct. But what I'm going to do now, I'm going to give you the actual definition of anger. So what is anger? Anger, I'm just going to write it here, is a normal emotion. Just like every other emotion. Yeah, this is really important that we know that this is a normal emotion and is actually pretty healthy. It's important to release your anger. Yeah, it's healthy and is a communication and expression of your needs. So it's really important not just to put the anger and say, oh no, I don't want to get angry, I'm going to put it in a little drawer there, my emotion, and I'm just not going to deal with it. Really bad. You got to deal with it. Through the course, we will find ways to deal with it in a healthier and better way. All right? Obviously, anger can be really helpful, but it can also be unhelpful. For example, if it justifies some of our behaviors, example, I'm hungry, very hungry, and I'm walking in the streets and I just punch somebody in the face because they look at me funny. So I express my anger through punching somebody in the face, which wasn't necessary, and it's definitely not helpful. Yeah? Marvelous. Now, once we got that down, so remember that, yeah, please, very important. So anger is a normal, healthy emotion. Yeah. Next flip chart is actually my favorite. I am really proud of this flip chart. And we're gonna go a little bit more kind of scientific. Oh, look at this. Isn't this beautiful? Okay. You see it? Yeah. Don't worry if you can't read too much. I can see one because I was nice and I made them all different colors. Then you can't see the really yellow one, but hey, it's okay. I will tell you what's written on there. So, hope you can understand this is our brain. Now, it looks like this, so I'm really happy about it. But obviously, all the section, it's really a simple, very simple version of the brain. If you do go online and try and find pictures of the brain, oh my God, there's so many things going on in here, guys. It's incredible. So, now I've divided in colors, so I'm just going to go one by one. So this one at the front, it's called frontal lobe, right? And this one is about kind of rational part of it. So it's about thinking, memory, behavior, and movement as well. All right. Then I got the blue part of it here. This is called parietal lobe. I don't know if it's parietal, but hey, parietal lobe. And this one looks after language and looks after touch as well. Then I got number 3, which is the tiny one here at the back. And this one is called occipital lobe. And this one looks after our sight. Yeah. Then the number 4, which is down here, which you can't see, it's called cerebellum. And the cerebellum look after our balance and our coordination as well. And then we go number 5. This is a super extra important part of the brain because this connects the brain to our spinal cord, right? So, you know, if you break your neck and you break this, that's why you can't move anymore or function anymore because it's done. But if it does work properly, happy days. So this one is called brain stem and looks after all the physical kind of functions of our body. So it looks after the breathing, your heart rate, and your body temperature, for example, as well. And then number 6, which is kind of the big one here in the middle, it's called temporal lobe. I don't know if you can see. Oh yeah, here. Temporal lobe, and it's looks after our hearing, our learning, and the feelings as well. There we go. We're getting. You were wondering why I was going on and on about the brain. It's the last part that we're looking for. So in the temporal lobe here, and exactly here, yeah, this is just a little mass of brain mass, really. And this little thing down here, I'm not gonna write more on that flip chart because it's too pretty, so I won't destroy it. But what is this little thing here? It's called amygdala. So your amygdala, I don't know if you heard that word before. If you haven't, no problem. You might have heard lizard brain instead. So that amygdala has the little tiny piece, really, has a massive, massive and very, very important function, which I will find. There we go, got the right one. There we go. I did write everything down. Am I so organized? There we go. I hope you can see it. Let's have a look. Yeah, it seems like phone flop. You can see flop, but that's all right. We'll get there. So first, what is the function of the amygdala, or so-called lizard brain? So the amygdala, I'm just going to read it out, is it helps coordinate responses to things in our environment, especially those responses that trigger an emotional response. There you go. That dun, dun, dun. So when you go in particularly emotional response like fear, hunger, the amygdala will start work. And the amygdala will make you do things, all right? Now, to explain that a little bit better, we're going to go through and explain the F responses, all right? So I'm just going to move the camera a little bit so you can see the last one as well. Yeah, perfect. So I put them all. Oh, this is a really fun part. Usually if we are with people in the class, we make them guess the responses, but in this case, I just wrote them down for you guys. So there's 5 responses there. I got fight, flight, freeze, which up until then people usually have heard of them, yeah, fight or flight. And then there is 2 that people haven't heard so much about it, but I will explain to you what that means. And they are fawn and flop, all right? Up until I took this course, for me, fawn meant my foundation shade. True story. And then I learned it means something else. Now, so flight, when we are in a flight response, fight. So something is happening, right? Let's make an example to make it a little bit easier to understand. One of my broad examples. Let's say we are cavemen, right? So long time ago. I'm a cave woman and I'm just foraging in the field, right? I'm there by myself, all right? Just a normal day, foraging for my food, da-da-da. Then I see a massive herd of cavemen from another tribe coming at me. There you go. So I got my emotional response there, right? Straight away, my amygdala down here, well, somewhere in here, will start to send hormones, yeah, and start to put me in one of these response, right? So let's say I'm the caveman there, yeah? All the herd of other people are coming, so I'm gonna go into a fight response. So what do you think I'm gonna do? I am going to fight it. Go for it. Yeah? Just think about it. Have you ever felt, when you got the adrenaline pumping and you feel like you're so strong, you'll take on anything. There you go. That's the response you're having. Then let's say, since I'm a caveman, I'm going to go in a flight response. What am I going to do? I'm going to get out. Flight. Run away. Yeah. Then the freeze response, that will be, well, you freeze. You just don't move anymore. Hold on. Yeah, so yeah, you don't move anymore. You wait until it's over. Yeah. I'm just going to write wait until it's over. And then we're going to go for the new ones kind of thing. So fawn, which doesn't mean my foundation shade, but fawn means actually attachment, love. So to make you understand a little bit, if I was to be the cave woman, I'll stop and I'll be like, you know what? Don't fight me. I'll join you guys because I think your tribe is so much better than my tribe. That's what I would do. I would be phoning there. Another way to explain phoning is, I don't know if you guys have heard of Stockholm Syndrome. So Stockholm Syndrome is when, let's say someone gets kidnapped, and then after a while, they spend time with their kidnapper, they'll fall in love with him. In that case, they are phoning. or if someone is in an abusive relationship and don't get out of them and keep defending the person, oh no, but I love him, he loves me, da 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 da. That's phoning as well. Yeah, it's a very tricky one, because also phone can last a long time. When these one are kind of quick, you come in and out of them. Phone is gonna take you a long time to get out of it. So the last one will be flop, which is literally fainting, play dead, for example. Yeah. So what is really important, we go fight, flight, freeze, phone, and flop. Yeah. So remember, if you are in any of this situation, threatening kind of situation, the amygdala will start to pump up and work in your brain, and you're going to go in one of these responses. Now, there's a few things that we need to note about these responses. And that is, there you go. Oh, you should see the mess that is down here with all the flip charts. Right, okay, so just a few things here. So you don't get to choose which response your body goes into, all right? You don't get to choose that, because it's not, you remember before the temporal lobe, the front part, the rational part of it, that ain't working. What's working is your emotional response, and you don't get to choose, right? I'm just gonna get my notes, guys, sorry. Then the important thing is that this response will keep you alive, or will try to, obviously. So you have to think that if you're in a threatening situation, if you start to get angry and da-da-da, these are all responses that our brain makes us do in order to stay alive, all right? Amygdala can get it wrong, all right? So this is so important, please, guys, that you take this away today. Because sometimes, I think, I wouldn't say we all have been, but I certainly have been in a situation in which I've responded in a certain way, and then thinking about it the day after, I kick myself in and say, oh, I shouldn't have done that, I should have done the other thing. But that wasn't me. I couldn't decide at the moment. It was the amygdala. And once again, the amygdala can get it wrong. The best thing to do, if you feel that that's what's happening, is remove yourself from the situation. I don't know if you can see that. I hope you can. But it's one of the things that I'm going to say a few more times during these few sessions. Remove yourself from the situation. Stop and remove. And another example for the amygdala can get it wrong, another broad example. Let's say there is a refugee, right, coming from Syria, and pretty much all his life he's lived there, and during the war, all right, so every time he hears a loud noise, right, when he was in Syria, loud noise meant a bomb. So then the amygdala will go into, let's say, a freeze response or a flight response, okay? Loud noise in Syria, flight response. That was appropriate, yeah? Then let's say now the refugee obviously has come to UK for a new life, and he's still adjusting, still trying to, let's say, have a start to normal life, if that's even possible. So let's say this refugee has been here for a few years even, and is walking in down the street, and then he hear a bang, big loud noise there, and then the amygdala straight away responds, flight. So he runs away. Now that bang wasn't a bomb, yeah? It was just a car backfiring, for example. But still, because of the amygdala, and because of its past, obviously, and its past traumas and experiences, the amygdala, as soon as the noise was off, the amygdala was like, we need to stay alive, we need to flight. So then, yeah. So that's a good example. So just think about, take all, this is a lot of information as well, I know, guys. But slowly start taking in, and try and think about your own examples if you have ever been in a situation like that, and kind of, the answer now. And then the last one, so I was telling you before, when the amygdala starts pumping, what happens is as well, the amygdala release some hormones, right? And these hormones are adrenaline and cortisol, right? I'm sure you all have heard of adrenaline, you know. People chase adrenaline, I don't know, just by going bungee jumping or even on a roller coaster, things like that. So the adrenaline is kind of the hormone that makes you feel so powerful and gives you like such a rush, you know. So it wouldn't be that bad. And now we have cortisol here. Cortisol is my sworn enemy. And cortisol is like your stress hormone. And obviously it's inevitable to be stressed in life, and it's inevitable for the amygdala to pump these hormones out. But in the next few weeks I will show you some tricks, you know, and some new skills how to kind of reduce the levels of this, because if you live your life with constant kind of levels of adrenaline and cortisol, really high levels, you will then probably kind of not live a long life. Let's just call it like that. It's cortisol especially have a big impact on your physical kind of body. So please bear that in mind, you know, next time you're starting to feel stressed, you know, remember those breathing technique from mindfulness, remember your DBT skills, for example, remember to remove yourself from the situations, be mindful of that cortisol there. You don't want that in your body. But once again, please don't beat yourself up about any of these F responses of what we just talked about it now. Because most of the time, one, people don't know about it whatsoever. I didn't know until I took this course. And second, most of the time, we don't have control over that. All right? Marvelous. I'm going to have just a little bit of water, sorry. And we're going to move on to the next one. Next one, we are going to go through, hello, there we go. Oh, I'm so messy, I'm throwing all the flick charts on the floor, my beautiful flick charts, there we go. Now, again, if we were in a class at college, this would have been much more interactive. I'm gonna come a little bit closer so you can, I think you can see a little bit better the flip chart, pretty much. Yes, so if we were at college, you guys would have helped me write all of this down, but obviously I'm by myself, so I already done that. So what we're gonna go through now is the difference between anger and aggression. Now, as you can see here, and we already spoke about that before, anger is a feeling, anger is an emotion, yeah, and aggression is the behavior that emotion cause, yeah. So you're hungry, you're gonna behave in a certain, probably aggressive way. Now, what is really important to know about this is that anger is not normally the problem. Anger is the symptom of something else. For example, you can feel really angry, but you don't have to be aggressive, yeah? And you do choose kind of that behavior a little bit as well. And we're going to go through that in just a minute as well. What we do as well, we do use the feeling of anger. Oh, I'm gone. Here I am. We do use the feeling of anger to justify a behavior, an aggressive behavior. All right. Once again, I'm in the street, just the example I did before. I'm walking in the street, somebody look at me funny, I'm already angry from before, I punch them because they look me funny. So I'm trying to justify that behavior, that aggressive behavior, which is not justifiable in that case, really, by my feeling of anger. Now we're going to go through a little bit more about when anger is justified on session 4. So yeah, a few more videos ahead, we'll go through a little bit more in that. But for now, what you need to really take is that aggression is behavior, anger is a feeling, and anger is usually the symptom of something else. And once again, we'll explore how we use the emotion of anger to hide other emotions in I think that's session 4 as well, yeah, in the next few sessions as well. Now, I'm going to go through, I promise this is pretty much the last one, also. Different types of aggressions here, all right? So I got outward, inward, and passive aggressive. So we're gonna start with outward. Yeah, outward is kind of the easiest one to kind of explain and to recognize, because as it says in here, outwards is things that can be seen or can be heard. Shouting, physical violence, smashing things, smashing your own things, smashing the public property, swearing as well. So anything at all that when you do express your aggression, when you do behave in a certain way, other people can see, you can see, and other people can hear as well. That's outward aggression. Yeah. Then I go inward aggression. Now this is kind of the hardest one to recognize and to also explain and to get over, especially because it's all about things that it's just you can see, you know. So for example, I've put a little examples there. Is like self-harm when it's not for other people to see. Yeah. And when I talk about self-harm, guys, I don't mean just physically harming yourself, but I also mean taking drugs, binge drinking, not washing yourself. This is all kind of self-harm. Yeah. So self-loathe as well, lots of like toxic talk to yourself, you know. You're angry for some reason, you're frustrated at yourself, you're gonna start to talk really bad at yourself, yeah. And that's inward aggression. And then I go self-sabotage. I'm a master of that as well. Self-sabotage, you know, not meeting deadlines at work, you know, don't answering friends when they call you anymore, so they stop call you eventually, things like that. Isolation as well. No self-care, I've mentioned that before. Not washing yourself, not eating, not drinking, you know. So this is all kind of, you can see the pattern here is all inward, yeah. And then the last one, which also I'm so good, this one, perfect, it's passive aggressive. So passive aggressive, it's really just basically making someone feel bad, using sarcasm, for example, or silence treatment. That's a really good sarcasm. Sorry, there's a really good passive aggressive technique. And for example, I don't know, let's say I'm at college and my friend makes cup of tea to other 3 people and not to me. When I see her, I'm like, oh, thanks for your cup of tea. Through that sarcasm, I am being passive aggressive then. Yeah, marvelous. So, so that's pretty much it. I am going to talk to you about, sorry, before we move forward, I am going to talk to you about your homework, since it's going to be about this. So this is what I usually give to people at college. I don't know if you can see it. No, I'll put it up here. Can you see? I'm going to be here. No, a little bit here. That's it. So it's basically just a grid. Yeah, you can do that at home on any piece of paper. And what I want you to do, I just want you to think about in the past, you know, in your present life, in that week, you know, in that few days. If you're ever feeling hungry or ever felt angry, how did you express that anger? Yeah, and then just put it down as outward, inward, or passive aggressive. Yeah, just a grid like this. Again, if you guys want to do it, happy days. If you don't want to do it, not a problem at all. And it's kind of a really good exercise because sometimes we don't really think about this too much, you know. We just have these behaviors, you know. So it's just for us to take a step back and rationally, you know, with no judgment whatsoever, you know. It might be a little bit hard to write a few things on that list. It was really hard for me to write definitely a few things on that list, especially the one that are not kind of the usual ones, you know. So it can be really hard, but then when you actually look at it, then you can learn from it, you know, and learn a few more things about yourself as well. All right, so I'm gonna go into the last flip chart for today, and then we are done. There we go. So we're just gonna finish today with a little bit of a kind of positiveness. And when I was telling you before, guys, at the beginning, how anger can be helpful as well. So just the positive role of anger. Yeah. So I'll just put on the list here. It releases endorphins. So you know how I told you about cortisol and adrenaline, which is like kind of bad hormones. Endorphins is the happy hormones, and really love that. So release the endorphins. It puts you in F responses, so it keeps you alive. Yeah. You feel powerful and you feel strong when you're angry. That's the adrenaline pumping in, and makes you feel like, oh, you can take on anyone. There you go. Anger motivates us. This is a really, really good one. And I don't know if sometime, even like in politics, for example, if we're not happy with what our government is doing, for example, we will protest. And that's an expression of our anger. It motivates us to make a change. Yeah. We don't feel ashamed when we're angry. Yeah. And it gets us what we want. And that's what I was saying before. It's really important to express your anger and trying to express this in the healthier way possible, because sometimes, there you go, anger is a symptom of something that is really wrong underneath. And if we do express the anger, trying in a healthy way, it will get us what we want and it'll make a change. And then the last one, it's that anger stops us feeling something else. And we will go through emotions, primary, secondary emotion, a little bit more. I think it's session 3 or 4, I can't remember. But we'll go through this a little bit more, because it is really, really true. Sometimes we do go and feel angry. We go for that emotion because we don't want to feel something else. Sadness, lack of pride, for example, things like that. But at the time is the right thing to do, and hopefully then in the future, slowly we can then deal with the actual issue. All right, so that is kind of a few things here for you down. And then if you have any other comments, or any other ideas about the positive role of anger, or if you want to challenge any of these things that I've said today, please put them in the comments below. And then the last thing is thank you. Hey. So yes, thank you guys. I'm just taking my script here. Yeah, just the homework. Once again, if you want to do it, happy days. If you don't want to do it, not a problem at all. And really, I just hope you enjoyed it. I hope I didn't speak too fast, and I'm sorry for a little bit messy with the flip charts. When I make the flip charts next week, I'll make sure I'll write a little bit bigger, and the computer as well. And yes, I'm using my webcam, so the resolution of this video is not the best, but it does the job, I guess. So at least you can hear me, so that's the most important thing. And again, if you do have any questions, any comment, please just write them below. Remember, no question is too daft to ask. And that's it. The next video will be out soon. So I hope you enjoyed it, and thank you so very much. Thank you. Bye bye.